Ve herkese merhaba arkadaşlar. Gamers'ın videosuna hoş geldiniz. Evet. Bugün sizlerle birlikte Sherlock Holmes The Awakened'ın ikinci bölümüne kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz. Evet, hemen şuraya. Bu başlattım, nedenini hiç bilmiyorum. Bu başlatasım geldi işte ya. Evet, hemen şuraya. Ya ben biraz da baktım, bir bokta anlamadım ya arkadaşlar. Oyun başlarken yani bir skor çıkıyor neyse, onu boşverelim, devam et dedi. Evet hemen arkadaşlar, ben o Barnes kitapçıyı bayağı bir incelemek istiyorum. Evet.
The ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Burayla ilgilenecekmişiz hem arkadaşlar. Tamamladım. Buradan
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
Sıkıldım çünkü her şey. Yo, bir de videom tam oyun, yani tam gameplay. 7,5 saat. 7 saat 23 dakika oldu.
So,
We're
Barnes
looking
is a
for a
dog now.
cactus needle and
Who's a good
haystack.
boy?
A spine in a book stack? No, come on, Watson, think.
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy? The ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is an improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. The finest view London has to offer.
I like bookshops. One of the few spots in London where you are shunned for making a racket.
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy? The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Tamam abi, tamam. Ama panhanda temek ne var yaşam. Okay.
Finest view London has to offer. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Acaba sığacak mıyız? Evet arkadaşlar. Güzel. Evet, yapalım.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre. I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Hello there. What's your name?
Lily. I know, not very original.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. Familiar spine? Is this what I found in my dustbin?
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
My condolences, Mrs. Fleming.
Mr. Holmes?
Your husband's death. You're clearly still in mourning.
Oh, no. I loved him more than anything, of course, but that was some time ago now. Life goes on.
A lesson we all learn, one way or another. Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Eğer ki sık sık video çekerse işte bayağı yani günde 3-4 tane video falan çekiyoruz. Birisi kaçırma var.
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right.
Ama şu saat kuşu 2 yazıyor. Tamam, sen benim misin?
ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Do you know anything about this?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Excuse me, just one question.
I can't tell you because I don't know.
Are you able to help me?
It's a shame, but I can't help you.
Are you able to help me?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Help me, please.
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Are you able to help me?
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
May I ask for your assistance?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Arkadaşlar bunu okumak için videoyu duraklatarak da okuyabilirsiniz. Ben zaten bekliyorum arkadaşlar. Böyle ya da. Şeysiz pompalıyorlar.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better
Is this
tell Mr.
familiar to
Barnes
you?
what we've learned.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Take the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here. I'll stand watch, just in case the strange man comes back. Why don't you give me another shilling now? Because I'm sure I'll spot something else soon. No?
My gratitude, Sir Arthur.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
Aha, evet arkadaşlar.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
Bay Barnes. Siz ondan ayrılmış.
I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
I have neither the experience nor the interest in navigating the finer sex and their peculiarities. Do what you will.
Oh, right. Yes, of course.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Oh. ödevini araştırıyorum. Daha katıp okumak isteyenleriniz varsa kirliler hemen araştırıyorum.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No? Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
İptal olsaydı artık söverdim.
Not much further now.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles, and it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
Tell me about Kimahia.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
I take it this is the first time Kimahia has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
Heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
The ashes are long since cold. Button chops. The remains of a meal. Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called. A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. Small Navy spyglass.
Are you joking? Why would I know this? Are you joking? Why would I know this? Where on earth are you going with this?
I will not be long, Captain. No air coming through it. No air coming through it. No air coming through it.
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone.
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh. No air coming through it. No air coming through it.
I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahir's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it.
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahir's?
Yes. I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right. rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the chimney.
Bakın, şimdi arkadaşlar galiba gardiyanlar geliyor, kontrol ediyor. Tamam mı? Ondan sonra kanlıymış olduğunu anlamıyorsunuz ama ondan sonra birdenbire o gardiyan bacıda var. Adamın götürüyor arkadaşlar. Buyuruyor, buna çarpıyor. Muhtemelen ya kaçırıyor ya da ölüyor. Ya belki bu ikinci gardiyan da olabilir. Hatta o kimya da olabilir yani arkadaşlar. Pek bir fikrim yok. Yani. Onlardan biri olur yani. Ama o zaman gardiyan veya kimya da. Yani şey bakın. Tahminlerinizi yazın. Siz çok iyi yani şey. Yani bakın arkadaşlar. Siz videoyu bile salmadan arkadaşlar. Yoruma yazın. Siz çok iyi. Gardiyan mı yoksa kimya mı? İkisinden birini yazın yani arkadaşlar. Gardiyan da olabilir, kimya da yani arkadaşlar. Yani arkadaşlar ben de Emre'den şey bir tek bu tuttu ancak. Emre'den şey o işi olan tutmuş oluyor yani. Herhangi yok mu? Ölmüş oluyor yani arkadaşlar.
The door to your garden has an interesting lock.
Yes, I have uncommon locks on every door of my mansion. It makes them harder to pick. Kimmy here and I both had a set of keys.
I'll need to borrow them.
No, you'll need to do what I tell you to do. Examine the garden. Why are you still here? If you find my man, I have a marvelous whiskey with your name on it.
bakayım.